Yo, what's up, diggity dogs? Give me a high five! Today we're going to be ranking. In the last episode, I ranked a bunch of Nickelodeon or Disney or whatever shows. So today we're going to be doing something a bit different. Today we're going to be ranking the major characters in Persona 5 Royal. Spoiler alert, I only played Persona Vanilla Edition because the Persona 5 Royal with the map packs was way too expensive for my cheap ass, and so I decided, but don't worry, I watched all the Let's Plays and stuff, and read all the wiki anime cutscenes, so I'm familiar enough, and okay, the SIU director, that guy is a C-tier villain. All he does is stare at the window, say ominous read out ominous text messages, and is shocked when he faces the same fate as that he literally orders on a dozen other people. Fuck you. Dr. Maruki, that is an S-tier villain, example of a tragic villain, how he goes from a pretty chill guy to some guy literally trying to rewrite reality. He fits, most people would say he's a cliche, typical example of that INFJ, sob story, well-intentioned extremist villains, but he's very well done here. Great dungeon, great boss battle, great visuals. Kasumi in quotes Yoshizawa, A-tier character, great character arc, one of the best written, I've heard very highly of her confidant, and I like that it's the Faith confidant. Faith is good or something, and she's adorable. Jose, I feel like that was just another thing to plop into the game, not really. Plus, she's voiced by Olivia Hack, the voice of Ty Lee from Atlas, and I'm pretty sure that show, that's good. Kaneshiro, yeah, the early villains in this game really weren't that good. A lot of them, he just shows up out of nowhere. You go into his dungeon, even though he has this super huge dungeon devoted to his psyche, he's not really that fleshed out a character. And that's just one of the better examples of that. Okamura, same problem. He just shows up out of nowhere as a pretty obvious red herring. And don't really know how, the timing worked for his mental shutdown thing. It was a shocking scene. And we all hated his palace, it stunk. Madarame, same problem as the last two guys, just wasn't that developed, just showed up out of nowhere, go into his psyche of this poorly developed villain, and then he just vanishes from the story completely. Masa Black Yoshishito, that is an A-tier, most people would put him B tier because he sucks. He's a well-written character, but he sucks. Egoist, bald Andrew Cuomo, I was gonna put him in B tier, but C tier for killing everyone's grandmas. Screw you, bald Andrew Cuomo. Lavenza, this character really should have gotten a lot more development. But seeing someone with such a familiar design really remind you of the older games of Persona, so that's a good callback. Super Smash Bros, the guy from Super Smash Bros, yep, I named him, when I played as him, I named him Jeffy, but I feel like the silent protagonist thing, I feel like they they gave him too much of a character, I'm not that huge a fan of silent protagonists, but epic design, epic movesets. Really wish they gave him more voice lines, more speeches. Xander Mobus, with the few one-liners they do give him, they're good. One of the founding members, I feel like she could have had a bigger role in the plot or story. She's just another party member after the beginning. So I put her in B tier, but A tier because her hair makes her look like a cobra, and cobras are cool. Caroline, come on, she's an obnoxious ESTJ, so there's that. Chihia, I mean, B tier because of how useful her confidant is, and I really wish I made use of it earlier. Goro Akechi. I mean, that is one of the best written. I mean, he's one of the. Besides the actual main character, he's He's the only guy that gets his own character page, so that should. Yeah, and Futaba. I mean, that S tier really goes without saying. I mean, epic design, epic boss fight, epic roll and royals. How they managed to get him to a. How they managed to get him in there, and very tragic character, serves as the perfect foil for our protagonist. Haru, apart from the Code Lyoko level 4 head, like she joins a bit late for there to be any development, and she has kind of a high skill barrier for the confidant entering thing. So there's that. Togo Hifumi. I am very, very glad that the Christian coded character was easily one of the most useful confidants in the game. The one that, Jello Apocalypse said had no business being optional. Oya, our first D tier, goes without saying. Justine is a step higher than Caroline because she's not as obnoxious. The one that got a video essay from Schaefer Loss and is voiced by Nisoxum Panty and Stocking, Nijima Makoto, and she's voiced by Velvet in the Japanese dub. Mona, I mean, we all, no one really likes Mona on the MBTI database. He has the lowest amount of likes as any of the Phantom Thieves, and I'm just gonna put this guy in D tier, goes without saying. EY, I mean, I didn't get to his confidant because of the high skill cap, but he loved his setting of it. Ryuji, A tier. I mean, he looks like this average delinquent, but he's actually a very nice guy. That's a good subversion. Kawakami, I mean, very useful confidant, and but yeah. Get Smoked is voiced by what was it? Oh yeah, is voiced by the witch lady from Star Wars Clone Wars, and B tier because of the Get Smoked hat. Takemi, good confidant, good character arc. The politician guy voiced by Rigby, also a B tier guy. I mean, I never really got into his confidant. Wakaba, I mean, given that the obvious, she doesn't really get that much development, but she seemed chill, so good for you. Mishima, A tier, because I'm putting in there, just to be honest, because he was one of the handful of confidants I actually managed to max out. Kitagawa, I mean, this guy just seems to be an example of like how like once a lot of these people join your party, they don't really have much of a role in the plot, just the story. They just seem to like go, now that you help me with my personal struggles, I'll join your party. Really wish I got into his thing. Principal Humpty Dumpty, I'm going to put this guy in D tier because he looks like the housing officer at my university. And it would have been really funny if it were if his fate happened to be the housing officer at my university. That would have been hilarious. Greatest video on YouTube. Sojiro, Best Dad Award, A tier, Best Dad Awards 2017, 2020, and 2021 because those are the years we win. Sai Nijima, we all wanted to romance her for some reason, but A tier because she's such a well-rounded character, but not an S tier because I'm not a huge fan of what do you call because I'm not really a fan of like framing narratives. I mean, like this was a great example of an en mediator race, but like I mean, as you know from my King Killer Chronicle thing, I'm not a huge fan of the framing devices, as they can get kind of obnoxious at times and not contribute. And finally, Shiho, I mean, apart from being a whoopee, like just an overall like character you're supposed to feel sorry for, she like very sad what happened to her, but she doesn't get that many opportunities for development. So here it is, my ranking for all the Persona 5 characters. See you next time. Did I mention this was a double feature? Oh yeah, not only are we going to be ranking all the characters from Persona 5 Royal, we're also going to be ranking all the characters from Super Mario Logan, another one of my favorite pieces of media of all time. I went ahead and disqualified all the characters I didn't really know about, so let's continue. Atso, that was a criminally underutilized character. Easily one of the funniest character introductions in the entire series. Just how, like, yep, never mind. I mean, good character. Okay, peeking a little early, but, Black Yoshi, that is an S-tier character. Just how unapologetic they are about the character they made. He's just a classic example of a completely unsympathetic, love to absolutely despise character, and he always gets it. And just seeing this guy fail is hilarious. Bowser Jr., A-tier character, he has a good contrast to Mario, who's like the straight man. Bowser Jr. is such an super confident, idiot that it makes a good contrast, especially considering they have the same voice actor. And seeing a bigger idiot in Enabler in Joseph, and the straight man in Cody, like, is a good example of a comic trio. Bowser, he's a very simple character, but on the other hand, he very much works given how, it's a simple gimmick, like, he loves watching Charlie and Friends, but, like, in a sticky situation, they show how they manage to make it work, just how ridiculous it is. Brooklyn T-Guy, that is an, S-tier character, serves as the ultimate straight man, like, not in the sense of Cody, but, just how he's somehow the most reasonable character out of these guys, not insane in any way whatsoever. In a world like Super Mario Logan, his status as a straight man is taken up to 11. Simmons, kind of an underutilized character. He feels like he's just like another Brooklyn guy when they need another one. Bully Bill, F tier. That guy gets what he deserves every time. He sucks. We all hate bullies. Chef PP. That is an A tier character. Just how much. We all hate the Squidward torture porn episodes in SpongeBob, but it somehow manages to work here. For some reason, because it's SML. Cody Nutkiss, like, I love how he thinks he's one of the only sane characters, but his completely perverted nature and just, like, how insane his family is, also, like, proves, like, even if you're the straight guy in SML, you're still not a sane character in any way whatsoever. Craig the Devil, C tier. Doofy the Dragon, very sad that this guy got killed off, but this is still much more sane than 90% of what you would find on YouTube Kids. Really wish I watched that show growing up. Female Jeffy, C tier. Yeah, she just seemed to be female Jeffy. I feel like putting this in C tier because making fun of homeless people, not very cool, but granted, none of this stuff is cool. All this stuff crosses the line, but I feel like that one was just like, hey, homeless person funny. Not really, productive. And here's the, Darnold, damn kids, get off my lawn! Old people, like, when they get to that age, like, you should really care for them, but, that guy just shows how they can get. And C tier, because he doesn't have that much development. Jackie Chu! Like with Black Yoshi, just how unapologetic they are about his character. And, like, he's supposed to be a teacher, but even then, like, he still has his own gimmick. Mini Jackie Chu, C tier because he's not as good as his father. Jacques Pierre Francois doesn't get any development. Clone Jeffy, C tier for being Discount Jeffy. And now we get to the mascot himself, Jeffy Francois. This is the ultimate, this is one of the greatest characters ever made, just how completely insane the series is. Easily my favorite character. I mean, I know that's a generic choice, but just how he manages to completely revolutionize this series, making it about having to turning the series from Mario plushies cursing at each other to flat out puppets going completely puppetry insanity. Joseph, his friend from school, I feel like he's the weakest out of the junior trio, but he still has his funny moments, just how oblivious he is to stuff. Judy Nutkiss, funny, I feel like the fat jokes, aren't really warranted, but, she's a funny enough character with just how idiotic she is compared to everyone else, especially when she was a teacher. Ken, C tier, I don't know how this works, all of these guys are plushies and toys, so why isn't he sentient as well? The Lone Dolphin, it's a novelty, like making the, instead of a lone shark, it's a lone dolphin. Luigi, don't really remember that guy, B tier because Mama Luigi! Don't really know why they retired him, shouldn't have been retired. Bowser's grandmom, mom, not really that interesting, don't really know how she gave birth to a turtle or something. Mario, this is an A tier character just because, like, how everything seems to go wrong for him to an even greater extent than Chef Pee-Pee. He deserves A tier because, like, most insane people would have completely thrown people like Black Yoshi and Shrek to the curb, but this guy actually fights with them, and he deserves credit for that. Mr. Goodman, this is just, like with Black Yoshi, it's a great example of a love-to-hate character. He's obscenely rich and obscenely evil, and they make good use of their jokes. Nancy Francois, we all hated her, she stunk, awful parent. Patrick, this guy should be a bigger character just for how completely psychotic he is. Even to a greater extent than the other characters. Peach, I don't really remember her, but I'm guessing she got cut off for a reason. I'll stick with Rosalina. Toon Link, don't really remember that guy, actually. Thought that he'd have a bigger role, but no. Richard Goodman, it's funny because he's rich, so, B tier, he's a perfect example of the obnoxious rich kid. He always has AirPods on, and is always has hundreds of thousands of dollars on his person. Rosalina, B tier, not as good of a character as her husband or son, but, another example of, the idiot enabler to the other characters' completely deranged schemes. Scooter, he's basically just discount Jeffy, but a fraction of a huge amount is still a huge amount, so there's that. Scooter. Screwball the Clown, the monster clown is kind of an old joke, but, what makes him a good example is he's not like Pennywise or Joker, he's oh yeah, I'm a monster clown, brah. Shrek, this is a classic SML character, just like with Bowser, they take a gimmick and turn it into an entire character. But here, I think it works because, perfectly encapsulates the completely low crass humor of this series in every way. Toadette! C tier for being obnoxious. Toad, B tier because, how they basically took Toad, one of the most banal characters in the series, and turned him into this complete gangsta, sometimes with all the nicknames. Just a chicken! C tier, just a chicken. Tyrone Nutkiss, yeah, easily his best role was, with Black Yoshi's Chicken Sandwich, B tier. And Woody, once again, they take an existing character and turn him into a joke by adding a completely random gimmick, B tier for, he's above C tier for managing to save the world in the asteroid, but B tier because they killed him all very sad. Chewie pie! So there we go. Super Mario Logan ranking all the characters. See you again.